In this video, we'll be going behind the scenes to kind of give our unfiltered thoughts of our 2023 van life adventure. And we'll recap some of the highlights and discuss some things that didn't quite make parts 1 through 3, while also talking about how we dealt with some of the challenges that we faced along the way.
Did, the little sink bath, but that's about,
the horse bath, as I call it.
Oh my God, you didn't say that on the Jesus Christ.
If you haven't watched parts 1 through 3 of our van life adventure, you're going to want to head to the links in the description below to do that. Otherwise, this epilogue isn't going to make any sense. And if you could, like and subscribe. Okay, love you, bye.
Are we in frame?
Yeah.
Both of us?
We sure are.
Okay.
Do you want to go look at the viewfinder and
yes,
check? Okay. And keep in mind you're going to be next to me.
Okay, we're good.
I know. Good morning. It is February 2024. We are currently in Vermont filming another of our adventures.
Good job.
Right, Joe.
Good job.
There we go.
We are several months out from our adventure in van life, but as we're releasing the videos, we wanted to do sort of a little recap. So I guess we could start with overall how we liked the van itself. Yo.
Yo.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
How did you like the
I keep hearing those noises. I don't know what it is. The van itself was not what we probably would have.
Yeah.
But it served a purpose.
Right.
What we were going for the week.
Yeah, I think if we were to have our own van situation, we would do it differently design-wise.
Yeah.
Maybe some of the same features.
Yeah.
As far as having like the dedicated tanks and everything. Yeah, the separate beds was annoying. There could have been more storage. It could have been just optimized better, I think. Something that has four-wheel drive so we could, take it on sketchier roads and not have to worry about it. And when you watch the videos, it's pretty clear that the days are starting to kind of take their toll on us.
Yes.
A little bit. Not just our schedule of, running and gunning, but also I'll say lack of sleep that we got, I think. Yes. 2 separate beds is one thing. The beds also weren't very comfortable. Couple that with the fact that we were actively trying to find a place to sleep every night.
That I was comfortable with.
Yeah. That was probably one of the more stressful parts. It was sort of looming overhead every day that all right, we have to find a place to sleep tonight. Tricky thing about approaching it the way we did, we tried to find a place to sleep that was as close as possible to the places we wanted to go. Whereas I think the smarter way to do it is to find a reliable place to sleep first and deal with the travel to your destination afterwards.
I guess, so we only had a limited amount of time, so we were trying to maximize our time as best as we could.
Finding a place in Jackson Hole is tricky enough. There was probably stuff that was further away from Jackson Hole, but also further away from the national parks we wanted to go to. Speaking of schedule, how do you feel about the schedule and the pace of the trip?
We packed a lot in for the short amount of time.
Yeah.
We didn't get in nearly as much hiking as we thought we would. Did a lot of driving.
Yeah.
But we knew that going into it, so we didn't lose out on anything. We just knew it was going to be a fast-paced week, and we took it as it went.
I think we underestimated Yellowstone and the size of it. We knew it was a big park, but as far as trying to see the whole thing,
yes,
while also knowing that we were going to want to take a few hours to hike,
yes, I
think was a bit of an oversight on our part. Do I think we shortchanged ourselves in some areas? Yeah, I kind of do. But that's, that happens. I think in retrospect, we've talked about this a little bit, but in retrospect, we probably could have nixed Glacier.
Yeah, definitely. That was the biggest.
That was the toughest one because it's so far out of the way. But you could argue that if we nixed Glacier and we had maybe done another day in Yellowstone and Tetons and then driven straight back to Oregon, we may have not felt quite as rushed.
Agreed. And
we might have been able to get some actual hiking and exploring in, because that's something we both enjoy, and we didn't get to do any of it when we were out there, which is a bummer.
And Glacier was a letdown anyway because of the road. So we didn't even get into Glacier nearly as much as we wanted to. So, at all, actually.
Yeah, I mean, if you watched our part 3, you've seen that the road to get there was so bad. We had such a rough time getting the van just to the lake and back out. It was about an hour each way to go 10 miles each way.
Yeah, and it sounded like the van was going to fall apart.
It didn't sound great. It really, even driving on the road, it sometimes didn't sound all that great. I don't know if that was the vehicle itself or there was something wrong.
Yeah,
I don't know,
I'm
but
not sure. I kind of wish we knew about the road situation because we didn't really know about that.
well, we didn't, and it was like we knew we needed a permit to go there, and so we were kind of like, ah, shit, we forgot to get the permit and blah blah blah. We should have probably just nixed it right there and been like, we didn't get the permit. It's easy to say that now, knowing what we went through.
But we were also like, well, we're already here, so we might as well. It's another 5-hour drive. We might as well just do it.
My health was also declining at that point.
Yeah, you weren't well.
If you watch part 3, you start to see my mental and physical decline. I don't know what the hell
is that?
I don't know. It's fine. It's just it's an animal. It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. I would do it again.
Oh, I definitely would do it again.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think we enjoyed it. I think I would do it differently. I mean, that's part of it too. It's a learning experience.
And plus, we booked everything very last minute, so we weren't able to really research more about things. We kind of booked it within a week, I think.
Yeah, we didn't really get into this in any of the videos either. But that whole trip came about over the course of like 2 or 3 weeks because we had another trip that fell through. We already had the time off from work. Yeah. So we decided to figure out some sort of random last-minute trip. And that, there were always going to be consequences that came along with that. But getting the van and dropping the van off was a whole ordeal.
Well, getting the van was fine.
Getting the van ended up being okay.
We didn't realize that finding an Uber once we dropped the van back off was going to be an issue.
Come to find out that there's no Uber in Hood River, Oregon. What there was a sketchy-ass bus that had some characters on it.
Yeah, which wasn't great, but we made it.
That was fantastic. And then Portland in and of itself isn't the best place on earth.
Where did we get dropped off at?
It was sort of like a part bus, part metro kind of station. There were even more sketchy characters.
Oh, yes, I remember.
Around there. So we get
right.
off the bus as sketchy characters,
yes.
And then we're in a whole sea of them. And we did get an Uber from there to our Airbnb that night. That shower that night was fantastic.
Yes,
because
that was the other problem with the van, too. The beginning portion of it, showering, was fine. But then as time grew on, the water didn't ever seem to get warm.
No, there was a water heater on board, but it just didn't get hot for some reason.
And we also were a little nervous about using that too much, I think.
Yeah, we didn't want to drain the batteries too much.
But in any case, towards the end, I don't think I showered. I think it was like 2 days before I actually had a proper shower. We did, the little sink bath, but that's about,
the whore's bath, as I call it.
Oh my God, you didn't say that on the phone. Jesus Christ.
The other thing we did when we were actually on the road was shower whilst driving, which was ill-advised. It's not a good idea.
I'm not sure you're supposed to do that.
I don't think you're supposed to do it either. But again, we were pressed for time, and getting back to some of these places where, places to eat close relatively early. We knew that once we parked, we weren't going to have time to both take a shower and change. So it was like, all right, well, one of us can drive, the other can go shower while we're driving, and then we'll switch and hopefully be done by the time we get parked. And that way we could just leave the van and go get something to eat.
It worked out a couple of times. You almost fell through the door the one time.
I hit my head a couple of times.
Yeah.
Which is really stupid because you're standing on a slippery surface driving through a mountain as you're sort of doing switchbacks back and forth. It's just not a good situation. We didn't cook as much in the van as we maybe could have. This didn't make the cut either, but we had a snafu in the beginning where none of the burners were working on the induction stove that was in the van. And come to find out, some of the cookware that was provided to us was too small. So you need to have contact with the induction surface and the cooking vessel at all times. And some of the vessels were too small.
And the owners didn't even know that, which I thought was weird too. We did have our pastry every morning. Even though we did get the stove working, we still went out and got some pastries.
Yeah, we got our pastries and our coffee and tea. A lot of good coffee out there. A lot of good coffee. Vanlife was a success, I think.
It was a success that we flew out there and we did it. And we
did
made it.
We didn't kill each other.
We didn't kill each other.
Yeah.
And I think we came out better off with
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have a better perspective on life on the road in general, which is good because maybe there's some
of that in the near future.
Some of that coming in the future, so you have to stay tuned. There's more of that coming.
I think if anybody is thinking about doing it, they should do it. And like I said in the first video, you have to kind of be comfortable with the person you're doing it with.
Yeah. It's going to test your relationship a little bit.
Because everything's in very close quarters. And
there's nowhere to run.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to run. So yeah, you're going to either get real comfortable or real uncomfortable.
Yeah. Not that should discourage anybody.
Just do it. You should just know that going into it.
Yeah.
Vanlife.
It was good.
Thumbs up.
Thanks for suggesting it and planning it.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
Thank you for going. That was a big thing.
It was a huge thing for me.
Yeah, you did good.
I did. On to the next one.
On to the next one. Okay, love you. Bye.
Bye. So what do we do about that?
I don't know.
I mean, are there birds in it, or
No, there's no birds in it.
nicely constructed nests? But maybe we can get, move a little quicker here.
Yeah.